Baldur's Gate 3 enters its third year of release, but the game has really seen no slowdown in its player counts, content updates, or the increasing size of the community. Despite the game releasing back in August of 2023, closing in on 2 years ago now, the game continues to captivate new and old players alike, with the word of mouth and the constant allure of new content patches bringing all types of players back into the game for the very first time. I myself finally got to play the game last month, and usually when games are this hyped and praised, I never see it actually living up to the discourse online. But with Baldur's Gate 3, it really does deserve all of its praise and much more. Only 6 days into 2025, Baldur's Gate 3 reached a peak of over 120,000 players on Steam, which is absolutely ludicrous for a single player game with no content DLCs, no microtransactions, or the typical game functionality that would keep players coming back into the game over and over again. Instead, the consistent passion of Larian Studios in continuing to pump out new patches, in addition to the word of mouth constantly luring more players into the mix, has led Baldur's Gate 3 to remain supreme, even though it was released close to 2 years ago now. With numbers like that, Baldur's Gate 3 impressively outpaces games such as Helldivers 2 and Elden Ring, which saw a big expansion earlier last year, with earlier news that you might have seen from Larian before showing that Baldur's Gate 3 actually had more daily active users in 2024 than in 2023, which was its release year. Truly, the popularity and continued success of Baldur's Gate 3 is shocking in an industry so clustered around new releases before moving on to the next one very rapidly, and it really is a testament to the hard work and effort put in by Larian into crafting a true high fantasy masterpiece. Larian Studios has clearly shown the industry that is so obsessed with live service games that putting true passion and effort into a game and truly allowing the developers themselves to take hold of what is created can create a game that has a continuous and lasting impact not only on that of the genre it inhabits, but the entirety of the gaming industry as a whole. Despite the fact that Larian has already put so much work into continuously refining and adding more to what is already there in Baldur's Gate 3, they haven't stopped there, with the earlier announced Patch 8 update expected to drop within the next few months, with even more features, fixes, and content for all players, new and returning to dig into. It's outstanding that even after all this time, Larian will casually announce the addition of 12 new subclasses, meaning a new subclass for each of the existing 12 classes in the game, which is truly going to add even more diversity into the combat mix of a game that is already so varied and interesting in every encounter. Big additions like crossplay are also huge, in addition to the inclusion of a long-awaited photo mode, as well as of course the usual bug fixing and small feature additions. I think for players who have never played this game before but continue to keep an eye on it will be further convinced by Larian's continued commitment to the game that this game is truly something special and worth trying out even if you're not into this genre of games. I had never played a single CRPG before playing Baldur's Gate 3 just last month, and the pure diversity in its choices and gameplay and the actual true impacts that this has on every aspect of the game truly amazed me and blew games that I thought were at the top of this caliber, such as the Mass Effect trilogy, out of the water. I've been on my second playthrough for a little while now, and the things that I found out here that I never saw in my first playthrough, or the manner in which I now tackle encounters with the increased game and combat knowledge I now have, creates a game that truly feels like it's infinitely replayable in all aspects. I've said all of this of the game's replayability and diversity in its components without even mentioning the fact that Larian has seamlessly integrated community-made mods into the official mod manager in the game, in addition to third-party mods that are always getting pumped out, either adding new quality of life features into the game, cosmetics, or in many cases new classes and subclasses entirely. Much like how Skyrim's lifespan was extended indefinitely due to the presence of a large and truly passionate gaming community that was noticed by Bethesda themselves, Larian was also quick to jump on the bandwagon that was the community's own passion to build further on what's on offer here and create a game that is continuing to expand in content in all ways. I've mainly got quality of life mods installed in my own playthrough, but seeing some of the classes, enemy encounters, cosmetics, and all manner of things that the community has added into the game, and only a few months into the game's official modding scene, creates an image of something truly promising in the near future, with possible gigantic mod content updates like we've seen with Skyrim over the years. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough for today's video. I hope you all did enjoy the video. If you did, consider subbing to the channel for more Baldur's Gate 3 and RPG content, and I'll see you all in the next next one. Peace.